So before we attach any of the swings, it's important to familiarize ourselves with all of the attachments that we have and making sure that everything's in proper working motion. So first we have the safety snap at the top connected to the eye bolt. And then depending on which swing that we're using, we can also have the rotationary device that goes on top. Whenever we're placing a carabiner, we want to make sure that it's facing out and the opening is through the top. So this carabiner is also going to attach here. And then attached to it, we have the height adjuster. So you lift this one up and it goes up and down. Whenever we're setting it up, we always want to make sure that it's at eye level. It's important also to check with your clinic to see what the weight restrictions are. Each carabiner has its own weight restriction along with the safety snap. As for the carabiners, we always want to make sure that we're checking for wear and tear. Same thing with the rope. We want to check to see that it's not worn out. If a client has a seizure disorder and it is not controlled by medication and it is stimulated by vestibular input, then swings are contraindicated. If a client has a seizure disorder and it is controlled by medication and it's stimulated by vestibular input, swings are able to be used in a linear motion that goes front and back, side to side, but for a short period of time. If a client has a seizure disorder that is controlled by medication, but it is not contraindicated for vestibular input, it is okay to use swings, but only in a linear motion. It is also important to look out for signs of distress. If the threshold is unknown, it's also important, if the threshold is unknown, to start slowly. Additional signs of distress are excessive sweating, fatigue, or any redness or blushiness in the face. Our swings, we're going to use the cuddle swing. So it's important that we move the adjuster height. So by lifting it, you want it at about eye level. Then we attach the swing with making sure the carabiner is pointed out. And then we adjust it up to our client's shin level. To get in the swing, you're gonna walk towards it and then face away. And then you're gonna hold both ends of it. And then you're gonna go ahead and lower yourself in. Okay. And if the client is small enough and they're able to bring their legs all the way in, it will provide more vestibular input. So with this one, they're able to rock forward and back and side to side. We're also able to close this to give more proprioceptive input along with the vestibular input. To get out, the easiest way to do it is to go ahead and hold from the sides, bring your feet down, and then we're going to go ahead and walk backwards. Safely remove the swing. We're going to go ahead and lower it back down to eye level. And then we're going to go ahead and clip out and down. For the next swing, we have a platform swing. We want to make sure that we're always ensuring proper body mechanics. So we're going to go ahead and bend the waist. Go ahead and lift up with your legs. Just like all the other swings, we want to make sure that the height adjuster is about eye level. So we're going to go ahead and clip the carabiner on. Making sure the carabiner is pointed up. And we're going to go ahead and adjust it. Make sure we're holding the rope. And then we want to adjust it to about halfway through the child's shin. So to get onto the platform swing, we're going to go ahead and turn around. Go ahead and reach back for the ropes. And then slowly lower yourself down. Okay, then go ahead and lift your legs in, scoot back. Okay, and they can sit with their legs crossed like this, or their legs up at their chest. And with this one, we do not have the rotary device on right now, so we can go in a linear motion, forward and back, or we can go side to side. So the swing provides a lot of vestibular input. If we're lying in a prone position, it also provides proprioceptive input. If we're using the swing to aim at targets, it also provides ocular motor input. So to go ahead and get off of the swing, you're going to go ahead and drop your feet, scoot towards the edge, lean forward, and then go ahead and pull back. So to go swing. We're going to go ahead and bend at the knees and lift. Then we're going to go ahead and lower the height adjuster by holding the rope to secure it. And then you can just go ahead and clip it off. Here we have the prone scooter. So it's important when setting up the prone scooter, we have 3 points of control. So we have our foot in the front, stopping the caster wheels. Their next hand will be behind the client to help stabilize the client. And then we'll have our other hand holding the scooter board to help the client get on safely. To get onto the scooter, the client will start on this side. They will go down to their knees, and then they will get on with their stomach down, so in a prone position. It is important that they do not put their fingers in the front so they don't smash them with the caster wheels. So when the client's on, it's going to look like they're in this position, and they're able to put their hands out in front. So this will help with upper body strengthening. It helps with vestibular input, proprioceptive input when we're pushing across the floor, and we're pushing up against gravity as well. Okay, and then to dismount, we're going to push up against. Place our hands on the scooter and sit all the way up in the kneeling position, the same way we do when we get on. And it's important that we store the scooter with wheels up for safety. So here we have the bolster. The bolster is used for vestibular input. It also helps with dynamic sitting balance and bilateralization. So the bolster can be used in a prone position, like this. It can also be used in a straddling position. In the straddling position, it can also help with proprioceptive input and weight bearing. You have a weighted blanket. So weighted blankets help with proprioceptive input, and they are the best modulators to help a child focus and regulate. Key things to note about a weighted blanket is we do not want it to exceed more than 20% of the child's weight. When we have it on, we have it for 20 minutes on and 20 minutes off. And then another important thing is when they're sleeping, we do not want the blanket to exceed 10% of their weight. And then we want to increase the weight in small increments. So my client, Alana, we're gonna get started on the prone swing. So because she's only 18 months, I have the beanbag here to help support her. She also has a lot of tactile defensiveness. So I have different balls in here. Some have no tactile input on it, and others have a little bit, and then it goes by varying degrees to more texture. She's not yet weight bearing in her feet yet, so the plan is to have her straddle on the bolster so that we can have some more weight bearing input, have vestibular input and proprioceptive input. In addition to, she doesn't like a lot of textures, she doesn't really like bath time, and she doesn't like clumpy foods. So I have a little bit of a textured bag here that has clumps to mimic the foods, and then some liquid texture to mimic bath time. And she'll be doing this while straddling the bolster. Okay, so today we're gonna go ahead and get Alana onto the swing. I know swings can be a little bit scary, so I went ahead and I lowered it a little bit more. And then we added a little beanbag here to help support her so that she feels a little bit more proprioceptive input. So it's a little bit tighter of a squeeze, and it'll help her keep her balance a little bit more. All right, Alana.
Okay, you're gonna crawl over.
Let's crawl. Good crawling. Let's put our hands up here. Touch, touch. All the way up. Good job crawling, Alana. I'm gonna go ahead and fix you. Ooh, we're gonna start nice and slow. Back and back. Nice soft ball. Nice soft ball. This one. Alright, Alana. Next we're gonna come on here and ride it like a horse.
Okay, are you ready?
Come on. Oh, nice crawling.
Let's go.
And leg over.
There we go.
Oh, nice sitting, Alana.
Okay,
So we want to go ahead and make sure that we're holding her from behind too.
Okay.
And we're bringing this over. Nice big pushes through your feet. Push. Push. Ooh. What's this one?
We're going really low.
Let's touch.
You were so low. You want to like go around
Can you poke?
as far as you can.
Let's try. Poke.
No, but
Ooh, is that cold?
yeah, I'm so sorry. But don't sit down here. Get
Ooh,
up here.
look at the colors.
Maybe I should give
Glitter.
that. And then I'm
Good job, Alana. Hi, Miss Sam.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for joining us today in our session. Having you there was really helpful for Alana because I noticed that when we started, she just kept looking for you. So I'm glad that you came over and helped us. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the equipment that we use today. So I know that there's been a lot of difficulties with her in the stroller and in the car seat. So we started a little bit with the platform swing, so the one that was really flat on the top. So because of her age, I also put a beanbag there just to help keep her in place so that she doesn't fall over. And we kept her really low to the ground so it's not intimidating for her. So I really think that she liked it in that position. She was able to touch a couple of the textured balls that we had. So the progression with the texture balls is we did some that were soft and flat, so there was not a lot of texture on it, and then we increased the texture as we went. And then another thing that we did when we went on that red bolsters looking thing when we had her straddle.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yeah. She was riding it like she would ride a horse. So really important with that was that she was able to put weight on her feet. So yeah, so by this age, she's not standing it, but we want to help promote a little bit more of that. So being able to put weight on her feet. And then the bag that we had when she was touching it, it had some liquids, some gels in it. And then to mimic the lumpy foods that she's having difficulty even seeing or eating, I had her touch a little bit of it. So we were able to look for the stars that were mixed in and find the little pom-poms that were mixed in just for a little bit more of exposure. Yeah.
She looked like she was having fun, so that's good.
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but I think the more that she saw us touching it and us playing with it, she was able to be more inclined to touch it. Yeah. So thank you again for bringing her in. Do you have any questions for me?
Not at the moment.
Oh,
Thank
awesome.
you.
So we'll go ahead and schedule your next session at the front, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.